red alert has officially moved from the Persian Gulf to the Pacific coast. According to a chilling intelligence report recently acquired, the FBI has issued an emergency warning regarding a catastrophic Iranian plot targeting the American homeland. The report reveals that Tehran's elite units have aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles launched from unidentified vessels or ghost ships lurking off the coast of California. This isn't just a threat on paper, it is a direct retaliatory response to the ongoing Operation Epic Fury, which is currently dismantling the Iranian military from the inside out, while the newly rebranded Department of War executes high-intensity strikes thousands of miles away. The enemy at the gate has become a terrifying reality for West Coast ports. In Washington, the branding is no longer symbolic. Brass plaques reading Department of War have been bolted onto the walls of the Pentagon, signaling to the world that the era of tepid legality is dead and the culture of maximum lethality has taken hold. As of mid-March, the United States is officially on a total war footing, and the first battleground of this new era may be the very shores of the great North American bastion. The Quiet Death Protocol. Beneath the waves of the Indian Ocean, a historic and lethal milestone has just been reached. For the first time since World War II, a United States submarine has utilized a quiet death torpedo to neutralize a high-value Iranian asset. The target, an Iranian frigate, was erased from the water in a single devastating impact that signaled the total annihilation of the regime's naval capabilities. In a staggering 48-hour window, the Iranian presence in the Gulf of Oman has been reduced from 11 active warships to 0. This is part of the broader execution protocol, which has now seen approximately 6,000 targets struck across Iran. US B-2 Spirit and B-1B Lancer bombers are in a constant rotation, dropping 2,000-pound precision munitions to raise the Iranian ballistic missile industry to the ground. To facilitate these deep penetration missions, the Air Force has established a massive aerial bridge with 14 refueling tankers operating out of Ben Gurion Airport alone, enabling carrier air wings to reach targets deep inside the Iranian interior. The technical heart of the Department of War is beating at a fever pitch, but as the missiles fly, the domestic front is beginning to buckle under the strain. The DHS shutdown. While our pilots and sailors risk everything in the Middle East, a dangerous crisis is unfolding within our own borders. For weeks, a government shutdown has paralyzed the Department of Homeland Security. The operational impact is catastrophic. Over 1,100 transportation security officers have separated from the TSA due to pay uncertainty, leading to critical personnel shortages at major airports during a period of high retaliatory threat. FEMA has been forced into emergency operating status, focusing exclusively on immediate life-saving responses and abandoning all non-essential activities. The border is now a sieve. The Coast Guard and Customs and Border Protection have been forced to suspend global entry services and port courtesies just to reassign personnel to essential security zones. In response to this internal chaos and the growing threat of Iranian ghost ships, the White House has authorized Executive Order 14,339, activating the 261st Special Purpose Brigade in the nation's capital. This is the only brigade in the U.S. Army specifically designed to coordinate military support to civil authorities and protect critical infrastructure against asymmetric drone attacks. The red alert is no longer just for Tehran, it is for Washington, D.C. itself. A $10 billion windfall. But here is the news that has stunned both the Pentagon and the Kremlin. On March 12, 2026, the United States Office of Foreign Asset Control, OFAC, made an abrupt and shocking move. It temporarily authorized the sale of Russian oil currently stranded at sea until April 11th. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent characterized this as a narrowly tailored measure to promote stability in global energy markets. Why would Washington grant Vladimir Putin this massive victory? The answer lies in the Strait of Hormuz. Following the U.S. strikes, Iran littered the waterway with naval mines, effectively halting 20% of the world's oil traffic and causing ship transit to drop to near zero. With global energy prices skyrocketing to over $103 a barrel, the U.S. has been forced to look to the only other available source to keep the lights on at home. This temporary lift of sanctions is expected to provide Russia with a windfall of up to $10 billion, much-needed income that will buttress the Russian war economy. Russia is now earning as much as $150 million a day in extra revenue because of the war in Iran. While we burn Tehran, we are inadvertently fueling the Kremlin, the Taipei mystery, and the Western Hemisphere. While the world's attention is split between Iran and the Russian oil pivot, a bizarre phenomenon is occurring in the Indo-Pacific. For nearly 2 weeks, Chinese fighter jets have stopped buzzing Taiwan, a 14-day mystery lull that is the longest such pause in years. Analysts are puzzled. Is Beijing avoiding escalation ahead of the upcoming Xi-Trump summit, or are they reassessing their own readiness after watching the intelligentization of U.S. warfare in Iran? One thing is certain, China is closely studying the operational lessons of Operation Epic Fury to inform its own future kinetic operations. Simultaneously, Simultaneously, the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine is being enforced with aggressive speed in the Western Hemisphere. Operation Southern Spear has expanded into Ecuador, where U.S. military assets recently participated in bombing Comandos de la Frontera near the Colombian border. The Caribbean has effectively become a U.S.-controlled lake where any vessel suspected of illicit activity is subject to immediate kinetic engagement. From the Arctic to the Panama Canal, the message is clear. The United States will no longer cede an inch of access or influence to extra-hemispheric rivals. Hot starts and B-52s. Listen to the technical logs as the buildup reaches its peak. Code acknowledged, standing by for launch. Ground crew secure the perimeter immediately. At air bases across the region, we are seeing hot starts. Engines running, comms discipline maintained, and ground crews moving carts into position under the fuselage with extreme urgency. Eagle 1 is clear for taxi, positive climb rate established, climbing to flight level 300. The technical logs confirm that B-52 bombers have been prepped for sustained strikes, even as some reports indicate Iranian drone swarms have attempted to target these high-value assets on the ground. The technical reality is a blistering rate of munitions consumption. The Pentagon is reportedly planning to ask Congress for an additional $50 billion just to replenish the missiles and precision bombs used in the first few weeks of the conflict. Every hour of this war costs American taxpayers nearly $40 million. The War Department. The rules of the century are being rewritten in real time by the War Department. We are no longer a nation in a defensive posture. We are a nation in an execution protocol that targets the total removal of threats rather than their containment. But this new golden age comes with a steep price, a strategic dependence on our rivals to keep the global economy from collapsing while we secure the desert. Tehran is burning, the Iranian supreme leader is dead, and the navy of the Islamic Republic is gone. But as the war reaches our own shores in California, the question remains, is the U.S. winning the war for today or losing the peace of tomorrow? The red alert is live, and victory is our only option.